Hi everyone and welcome to XMiles Live Special Feature Edition where we will be speaking about World 100k race nutrition. This episode again is brought to you live and our sponsors and our help is from Squirrel Nut Butter UK. Well, good afternoon everyone. It's a opportunity to kind of hopefully live stream to you from Croatia, where I'm preparing for the World 100k Championships. I thought we'd take this opportunity to connect while we've got decent signal. Hopefully the signal won't drop out too much, and the images and audios coming across well on the live stream. So we will see. Hopefully it won't drop out at all. So yeah, the reason to do this live stream was to hopefully give some kind of idea on what I'm doing for race nutrition and how I'm preparing for the 100k, and hopefully as we are specializing in a nutrition feature across our series, that this will give some people some insight into racing 100k distance using different products and different ways of fueling your body. So we'll start off with a kind of overview of pre-morning rituals, of where I will be doing my normal early morning breakfast, which will be pretty standard of Weetabix, banana, cup of coffee, quite light, and a couple of hours before race is going to start. I will also be having my GU BCAA capsules and Beat It bar over Beat It shot in the morning. I've been using Beat It shots 15 days pre-event, so I'm now kind of as I'm getting closer, I'm just having the bars for the last couple of days. Just you still get the same nitrate input from the bars, but it's just to give me something different, and also just helps make sure the stomach's nicely settled morning of the race. I will then be sipping on Raspberry Buzz Tailwind. Raspberry Buzz is kind of my flavour of choice. No real reason to that. I drink a lot of tea and coffee, so I tend to drink the Buzz version of the Tailwind. I've used it for my last 200k races, so I'm sticking with Raspberry Buzz. That's made up into little bottles as well for the race, so I will have a 500ml bottle before the race, which I will sip during breakfast and get through to the event, and then I will switch to being handed at certain points of the event the pre-made Tailwind for 1 scoop, half an hour's worth of fuel during the race, and they will be handed to me, and that will keep me hydrated and will keep my electrolytes up during the event. There's 2 aid stations on this course, which is really handy. So the one aid station will be feeding me my Tailwind. The other aid station, I will be getting supplementary feed from different sources, depending on what I put on my plan to be handed going forward. So I kind of mix that up with a choice of products. So I've got some chews, which I kind of quite like to have during the event. They're easy to take down and going forward. So basically half a packet of chews. Packets will be cut in half, and I will be handed half a packet of chews, which then I will then carry and pop out. The great thing about these are that when they're cut in half, I can then be handed half and then just pop them out the top. I don't have to worry about opening the packets. And they're really easy to kind of take down and go forward. So to start off with, I'll be given chews, and then later in the race I will move over to taking on gels, and that's just because I find it easier to take that sort of fuel down as extra fuel. And I've got a mixture of gels as well. I tend to use goo is probably my my go-to gel, which I've used for marathons and 100Ks for a long period of time. I've got a few flavors. I've got birthday cake flavor because you know, nice to have a little bit of a treat taste flavor in your mouth. And then also I've got a couple of new gels that I've been using and trying recently that I wanted to put into my pack, and the reason for that is that I think that you need to make sure that you enjoy the flavour of what you're taking on as much as anything else, and and having something that kind of you find easy to take down and you enjoy the flavour of makes a big difference to going forward. So one product that I really have been enjoying taking on my runs is the new Mountain Fuel Sports Jelly, and again the reason for this is it doesn't seem to get as warm as the other gels when it's out in the sun and in your pocket, so it still tastes nice and refreshing. Cola flavour, which has got caffeine in, but flat Coke and cola flavour is always good for long events, and the orange one again is also nice and refreshing to go forward. Also, because I'm a bit of a coffee lover and tend to drink a lot of coffee, I really like the new Cafe Latte Talk gel, so that's a new addition to the race pack. So I basically got a mix of different gels, and different brands, which will just be kind of handed to me at the second aid station after the goo gels and after the tailwind at the other aid station to give me a bit of a variety in what I can take and what I go forward. Packed extra. I learned that lesson earlier in 100k racing, that the weather can play a big part in how much hydration you need or what fuel you want to take on. I don't tend to drink too much when I'm racing marathons and shorter distances, but obviously 100k is a great way of getting your fuel in you, so that's why the tailwind's such a kind of critical part of that. And I have found in events before that dehydration and not actually having enough bottles available, even if I don't drink them, I prefer to have the bottles available. So I've made 11 bottles of 1 scoop of tailwind available, and then lots of gels and chews. Again, I will just take what I want and I will leave what I don't want, so they will be available on the race. And that's the key thing, to make sure it's there for you. So night before, I've also got a couple of Mountain Fuel night fuels as just a little bit of a final carb load. Got my Squirrel's nut butter to make sure that I don't have any chafing problems in the morning. And then finally, I've got a Cliff double shot espresso gel that I take on the start line just to give me that final kick up the bum, ready for the off and get me going first thing in the morning. And that's about it really. That's the race nutrition covered. It's quite a simple plan. It's all in a spreadsheet, all ready for the team to know when to pass me what and when they should expect me if all's going well, and hopefully that will get me through to the finish. When I finish, I will have a couple of things available to me to make sure that I'm all set. And now as it's a live broadcast, I've put them so I can't reach them. One of them being mixer bottle. I've got Tailwind Rebuild Vanilla available for me today. It's more about just having a recovery shake available. I vary between Mountain Fuel Recovery and Tailwind Rebuild, both great recovery products, and I just kind of whatever one I grab is one I've got. I usually have a recovery bar, protein bar available just as an emergency snack. I'm not a great eater for about an hour afterwards. The key is for someone to make sure that I get my drink in me, and then hopefully then I'll be back on the beers, and that'll be the end of this experience for a while, and I can have a couple of months of recouping and recovering. So that's basically what we wanted to go through today. Just an opportunity whilst in the hotel and whilst we've got signal to talk to you, run through race nutrition. Would be great to get feedback. Would be great to get any new subscribers and likes onto the channel to make sure that you're seeing what we're doing, and hopefully that will that you're enjoying the first couple of shows. Hopefully my confidence is getting a little bit better, that the shows are a little bit more smooth. And we've got a couple of great new ones coming up. We've got Pete Thompson from Marathons for the Mind, who will be joining us on the 18th of September to talk about his challenges and what he's just been up to, which will be a fantastic show. So please subscribe and get ready for that live stream. And also we've got another side series where we're going to be featuring different products, and we're hopefully we will have Mountain Fuel joining us to talk about the Mountain Fuel brand, the Mountain Fuel products, the Mountain Fuel team, what their runners are up to, and just a bit of an insight into where they are as well. So thanks again for joining us, and hopefully